Teyana Taylor just won a Golden Globe, and Hollywood is already in panic mode. People are saying it wasn't just talent, it was a calculated racial chess move. And while that's exploding, Cardi B and Offset are allegedly detonating a $20 million mess. Everybody thought they knew the story. Teyana Taylor gets a Golden Globe, fans celebrate, industry claps, end of movie. That was the clean version everybody reposted, but then the internet started pulling threads. Folks began saying the win felt too perfect, like a PR shield to calm down bigger criticism. And at the same time, another fire starts spreading, because Offset is allegedly spiraling financially, Cardi B is allegedly moving like she's 10 steps ahead, and Selena Powell is out here dropping claims that sound like court evidence. Now the whole narrative is twisting. So, let's break down why people online are treating Teyana Taylor's Golden Globe like a crime scene. And remember, this is internet commentary. Allegedly, reportedly, speculation, but the pattern people are clocking is what's making the timeline feel poisonous. Because the second the award hit, Twitter and TikTok didn't just react, they investigated. Full CSI mode, frame-by-frame energy. Folks started pulling clips, listing screen time, comparing it to other nominated performances, and asking one question that kept coming back like a siren. How did this win over Black-led films with heavier cultural impact? Online critics keep repeating the same 3 data points like it's a case file. They claim Teyana's role in one battle after another is only about 20 minutes of screen time. They claim the character is trapped between 2 white male characters, almost like a narrative sandwich where she's the meaning but not the center. They claim she disappears halfway through the story, but still walks away with the trophy. Now, is that automatically a conspiracy? No. A short performance can absolutely be award-worthy, but the internet doesn't care about possible. The internet cares about pattern, and people are saying the pattern feels familiar. Then came the comparisons. Folks started dropping names like they were loading bullets into the conversation. Halle Berry, Monsters Ball, that whole history of Hollywood rewarding black women when the role is soaked in pain, humiliation, survival, or a kind of suffering that makes mainstream audiences feel like they witnessed something important. And listen, nobody's saying Teyana doesn't have talent. That's not the angle. The angle is that people think Hollywood loves the image of a black woman enduring something more than it loves the image of black people winning on their own terms. Now here's where it gets even crazier. Fans online started contrasting this win with films like Sinners, which people keep describing as a massive black horror blockbuster. Black-led, culturally loud, financially successful, the kind of thing that proves black storytelling can run the box office without begging for a seat. And yet, according to the online narrative, that kind of power gets snubbed, while a trophy goes to something they call trauma bait. That phrase, trauma bait, is what turned the whole thing into a wildfire. Because once people label something like that, it's not about acting anymore. It becomes about what the industry is rewarding. And people are claiming Hollywood pulls this move when it's cornered. They say when the room gets too hot, somebody tosses out a historic win like water on a grease fire, not to honor excellence, but to control the headline. Because think about it, award season isn't just awards, it's branding, it's power, it's studios trying to dictate what matters. So if the internet is already dragging Hollywood for ignoring black-led success, what's the fastest way to quiet that? Hand a trophy to a black woman. Let the cameras catch the tears, let the speeches play, and let critics look mean if they question it. That's what people online are saying. Allegedly, the win becomes a shield, a carefully placed shield. And that's why the conversation turned ugly fast. Because some folks are like, we're proud of Teyana, and other folks are like, we're tired of Hollywood picking which kind of black story gets celebrated. So the internet starts arguing with itself, not about the performance, but about what the performance represents. Now add the timing. Because while this award debate is popping off, there's another storyline crawling out of the shadows. Cardi B, Offset, and a scandal that's allegedly got money, kids, and revenge swirling together like a storm. And once those 2 storylines start running parallel, it starts feeling like a season finale. Because on one side, people are saying Hollywood is rewarding black pain for trophies, and on the other side, people are saying hip-hop is weaponizing black women's lives like chess pieces. Different arenas, same energy. Control, image, power. And you can feel it, the way the internet talks about it, like everybody's waiting for the next leak, the next screenshot, the next source close to statement that turns speculation into a headline. And if you think this is where it stops, nah, this is just round one. Now, let's get into the motive, because this is where people say the whole thing starts clicking. Allegedly, Hollywood doesn't just hand out trophies based on performance. It hands them out based on what story the industry needs told at that moment, in that climate, for that audience. And when you zoom out, the accusation isn't Teyana didn't deserve it. The accusation is darker. People claim the system rewards black excellence only when it's packaged in a way white audiences recognize as serious. And historically, serious has meant suffering. So folks online started building this theory like a wall. They say if black joy is too powerful, it scares the room. If black rage is too direct, it threatens the room. But black pain, especially the kind that looks poetic on screen, gets welcomed, applauded, and stamped as important. That's why the Halle Berry comparison keeps coming back. Because whether people agree with it or not, it's a cultural memory. A moment where a black woman won, but the story attached to the win was soaked in trauma. And now with Teyana's win, people are asking if the industry is repeating its favorite trick. And it gets even wilder when you bring in the alleged damage control angle. The internet narrative claims Hollywood has been catching heat for years. Snubs, token wins, diversity talk that doesn't match real opportunity. So when a black-led blockbuster gets overlooked, again, people say the industry needs a headline that looks like progress. So what do? You manufacture a moment that's hard to criticize. Because if someone questions the win, the response becomes, "So you're mad a black woman won?" And that shuts down nuance fast. That's what people say makes it feel like strategy. Now think about how studios move. Awards aren't just vanity. Awards sell careers. Awards raise paychecks. Awards lock in future roles. They turn an actor into a prestige asset. So if the industry crowns someone, it isn't just applause, it's permission. It's a stamp that says, this is the kind of black story we're comfortable elevating. And that's why folks are saying it hits different. Because Teyana Taylor, to a lot of fans, represents versatility, music, fashion, directing energy, presence. She represents creative power. And people feel like Hollywood is trying to turn her into a symbol, and symbols get used up. Now, here's another layer people keep whispering about. Award campaigns, money, networking, the private rooms where buzz is built. Reportedly, studios spend insane amounts pushing narratives, positioning performances, shaping what voters feel when they see a name. So online detectives started talking like insiders. They're claiming the win isn't just about the movie, it's about the campaign behind it. It's about who benefits. It's about who needed this headline. And while all of that is boiling, you've got the second storyline, the hip-hop side, sitting there like a loaded gun. Because while Hollywood is allegedly playing optics, the Cardi B Offset situation is allegedly playing survival. People have been watching that relationship like it's a reality show with no season break. Breakups, reconciliations, subtweets, deleted posts, rumors stacking so high they start looking like facts to casual viewers. And when Selena Powell jumps into the mix with money claims, it pours gasoline on a story that was already smoking. Because now folks aren't just talking about mess, they're talking about alleged debts, alleged IRS problems, alleged gambling, alleged collapse. That kind of fall off hits different. Because in the public eye, Offset isn't just a rapper, he's a brand, a symbol of success. And if that symbol cracks, people don't just gossip, they smell blood. So online, the narrative becomes Hollywood is allegedly controlling black narratives for trophies, and hip-hop is allegedly destroying black families for ego. Put all that together, and it starts looking like the perfect recipe for a cultural meltdown. Not one scandal, two, running at the same time. And the internet? The internet loves a double feature, especially when both stories are about power and what people will do to keep it. But here's the part that really hits different. The loudest anger online isn't even aimed at Teyana. It's aimed at what people feel she got forced to represent. Because when audiences celebrate you and then immediately use your win as a battlefield, it turns your moment into a target. Black fans are saying they're exhausted, not because they hate seeing black women win, because they love it, but because they're tired of wins that come with a hidden price tag, a trophy that feels like a trade, like, here, take this and stop asking questions. And you can feel the sting in how people talk about it. It's not academic, it's personal. It sounds like, why do we only get recognized when we're bleeding on screen? And then on the Cardi B side, it's that same underlying ache, just in a different outfit. Because when people online talk about Cardi, they don't talk like she's just a celebrity. They talk like she's a mother, a woman navigating a public relationship that keeps turning into a headline machine. And allegedly there's a baby involved, and that's where the internet goes quiet for a second. Because kids didn't sign up for this. Whatever's true, whatever's fake, whatever's exaggerated for clicks, innocent people still get dragged into it. That's why the revenge angle feels so nasty to audiences. The idea that a relationship could become a strategy, that emotions could become moves, that a family could become leverage. And every time Selena Powell allegedly drops another claim, it doesn't just sound like gossip, it sounds like a door being kicked open, like somebody wants the world to see what's behind the curtain. So fans are stuck in this weird place. They want to defend the women involved, but they also don't want to ignore patterns that keep repeating. They keep saying the same thing. Why does it always turn into this? Why does it always get ugly when black women are the headline? Why do the systems around them, Hollywood, hip-hop, social media, keep treating their lives like content? That's why people are watching so hard, not just for tea, but for answers. Now let's get into the second explosion, because this is where the internet stopped calling it drama and started calling it documents. Allegedly, Selena Powell went nuclear on Offset with a list of claims that reads like a financial autopsy. People are saying she claimed Offset owes her around $15K to $20K. He's broke. He lost $10 million. He allegedly owes $2 million to the IRS. He's allegedly gambling heavy, and he's allegedly sliding toward bankruptcy. Now, are these claims confirmed? No, let's keep it real. This is internet chaos, and folks exaggerate for attention all the time. But what makes it stick is how detailed it sounds. Because the internet loves specifics. A vague rumor dies. A rumor with numbers gets shared like it's a receipt. And it gets even crazier because fans online didn't just listen. They started trying to verify in the messiest way possible. People started pulling old interviews, comparing timelines, talking about lifestyle clues, and doing that thing the internet does where they decide someone is broke because a photo looks different. Then the conversation swerved into darker territory because allegedly Selena didn't stop at money. People claim she hinted at threats, violence talk, ugly behind-the-scenes behavior. And once words like that hit the timeline, the temperature changes. Because now it's not who cheated, now it's who's safe. Then you've got the baby narrative, allegedly, claims that Offset was furious about Cardi's new baby. People online keep repeating that he allegedly called the baby a bastard. Again, not confirmed, but the internet is treating it like an emotional grenade. And why? Because that kind of language, if true, wouldn't just be petty, it would be cruel. And cruelty is the one thing the public never forgives. Now mix in the next piece, the Stefan Diggs storyline, allegedly Cardi's new man, and fans online are painting it like a psychological war zone. They're claiming he abandoned her at the hospital. They're claiming he disappeared. They're claiming there was an argument about a birth certificate. And listen, even if half of that is exaggerated, the reason it's going viral is because it fits the chaos arc people already believe. It matches the messy movie they think they've been watching for years. Then came the internet lab work. People swear they're doing analysis like they're paid investigators. They're comparing voices, matching captions, studying who liked what post, who unfollowed who
Who posted at 2:17 a.m. and deleted at 2:19 a.m.? Folks are claiming they can see patterns in the timing, like someone wanted certain stories to drop right when other stories were peaking, almost like a distraction within a distraction. And it starts to feel like everybody's playing chess with the public. Cardi allegedly protecting herself, Offset allegedly trying to keep control, Selena allegedly trying to expose, fans trying to decode. And the reason people are so locked in is because this isn't just celebrity mess. It's money, kids, reputation, and power all at once. The stakes feel adult. And while all this is going on, the Teyana Taylor Golden Globe controversy is still simmering, so the internet starts connecting dots that might not even be connected, because that's what the internet does. They start saying, look at the timing, look at the distractions, look at how fast headlines shift when deeper questions come up. And you don't have to believe every rumor to feel the bigger point people are making. When fame gets this big, reality becomes negotiable. Everybody's selling a version, everybody's protecting a version, and somewhere in the middle, the truth is getting suffocated. Now, this whole situation gets even crazier when you realize how the internet treats these stories like games. Folks don't just watch, they pick teams, they build narratives like they're writing scripts. And once a narrative is popular, it starts moving on its own, even without proof. So you've got one side saying Offset is done for. They're zooming in to everything, every outfit, every caption, every club photo, every rumor about gambling. And they're like, look, he doesn't look like a man who's winning. Then you've got another group saying Selena Powell is clout chasing. They're like, why now? Where were these receipts before? Why do these numbers keep changing? And honestly, that skepticism is fair. The internet rewards shock. People lie for attention every day. But the reason it won't die is because Cardi B is involved. And Cardi is one of those stars where even silence becomes content. If she posts, it's a clue. If she doesn't post, it's a clue. If she laughs, it's a clue. And then the Stefan Diggs angle. People online are acting like he's the wild card. They're saying, is he really ready for Cardi's world? Because dating a superstar isn't dating a person, it's dating a spotlight, it's dating commentary, it's dating millions of strangers who think your relationship is theirs. And this is where people start pulling in older history. They start recapping the past breakups, the public cheating rumors, the back and forth, the times Cardi allegedly forgave things the public said she shouldn't. Folks bring up how the internet treated her like a joke for staying, like her love was weakness.
So now, in this alleged new chapter, people want her to win. They want the comeback story. They want the glow-up. They want the revenge narrative. But revenge stories always come with collateral damage, and that's what makes this feel dangerous, because everybody online is cheering for outcomes without thinking about consequences. And while this is happening, the Golden Globe conversation is still getting uglier. Some people are saying Hollywood is using Teyana's win as a shield. Other people are saying the critics are disrespecting her, and the argument keeps looping. Louder, harsher, more personal. So now you've got two fires feeding each other. One about awards and race, one about money and relationships. And the internet is doing what it does best, turning every angle into a weapon. And this story is still unfolding with way bigger implications than just one award or one messy relationship. What we're seeing here is how power systems shape black narratives in two different industries, Hollywood and hip-hop, and how the internet amplifies it until it becomes a storm. Because Hollywood controversy isn't just about who won. It's about what kinds of black stories get funded, pushed, and rewarded. People are saying the industry loves a black face as long as the story fits a certain box, a box that's familiar to the mainstream, a box that doesn't challenge the room too much. Meanwhile, hip-hop controversy isn't just about who cheated. It's about what happens when relationships turn into brands, when babies become headlines, when private pain becomes public strategy. And the bigger conversation is about how social media trains us to treat real human lives like episodes. We binge it, we react, we pick villains, we demand receipts, we move on. But the people in it, they don't get to move on that fast. Their reputations stick, their kids grow up, their families remember. And the internet will swear it's just commentary, but commentary shapes reality. It shapes what labels decide, what studios decide, what sponsors decide, what the public decides to forgive. That's why stories like this are dangerous, because the more the timeline rewards chaos, the more chaos becomes profitable. People start feeding it on purpose. They start dropping hints instead of facts. They start playing in ambiguity because ambiguity pays. So whether every rumor is true or not, the culture around it is real. The machine is real, and it keeps running because we keep watching. So here's the question everybody's dancing around. Is Teyana Taylor's Golden Globe actually a clean win, or is it being used as a strategic move by Hollywood to cool down criticism? Because think about it, if people are already mad about snubs, about representation, about who gets rewarded, a single historic moment can redirect the whole conversation. Not fix it, redirect it. And on the Cardi B Offset side, people are asking something even darker. Is this about love or leverage? Because allegedly, Selena Powell is hinting at details that could become legal problems if receipts ever hit the table. And if Offset is allegedly in financial trouble, that makes everything more volatile. Money pressure makes people reckless, public embarrassment makes people cruel, and when kids are involved, the fallout gets permanent. So the speculation online is getting nasty. People are floating theories like, what if Offset is spiraling so hard he'll expose everyone around him? What if Cardi is staying quiet because she's protecting information for a legal moment? What if Selena is doing this because she knows the internet will do the spreading for her? And what if the Stefon Diggs storyline is being exaggerated just to keep the spotlight burning? Because that's the scariest part of modern celebrity. Nobody knows what's real, but everybody reacts like it is. And when the public reacts, brands react, studios react, teams react, lawyers react. So if even one of these rumors turns into a verified receipt, the collapse could be fast, career ending fast, lawsuit fast, no more deals fast. And that's why people are glued to the screen. They can feel the pressure building, like something's about to pop, and nobody knows who's going to be standing when it does. And look, this story is far from over. Every day there's a new angle. Every night somebody leaks something. And the scariest part is how normal that's become. So I need y'all to tell me in the comments, keep it real. Do you think Hollywood is running a racial award optics game, or do you think the internet is reaching and ruining a real win? Do you think Cardi B is playing defense or playing revenge chess? And do you think Offset is allegedly so deep in a spiral that he's willing to burn everything down just not to go out alone? Because the way this is moving, it feels like we're heading towards court filings, more receipts, more sources say headlines, and more people switching up their story when the pressure hits. If you made it this far, you already know what time it is. Like the video so the algorithm keeps pushing this conversation. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because the second more info drops, we're on it. And last thing, remember this: fame doesn't just expose people, it rewards the mess. So protect your peace and watch who benefits when the timeline starts screaming.